All right, well, welcome back, Raider Nation. This is Raider Sparks coming at you with another video. Hopefully, you like your last video I did, kind of going over the quarterbacks and some possible prospects to bring in, and hopefully you're liking the channel. You know, if you are, please like, share, subscribe, all those good things. It definitely help me out get my get the viewership up and get the word out there a little bit. So yeah, hopefully you liked the video on Kevin King. I know it was a little irregular, but I think it kind of makes sense and. So I just thought we'd talk a little bit about the roster today, kind of where we're at with that, and kind of get a feel for where we are going forward. And actually, thought I'd have a little fun with it, do a sort of a starting lineup that I kind of think might happen. You know, it might be a little far fetched, but I think it's pretty solid starting lineup. And then I used all the young backups. I got rid of all the old draft picks and some of the other guys on the team that may not make it. So I kind of went with the youth movement. Kind of the thought was, can we be competitive this year? You know, obviously go for the Super Bowl this year with the starters we have, and then have some young backups to build our future. So that's kind of the way I did it. So hopefully you like it. Like I said, please like, share, subscribe. So I did 25 defense, 25 offense, and then obviously our three special teamers to make up a 53-man roster. Right now, it looks like we have 88 guys on our roster for my count. So, obviously then still until June 1st, Littleton and Nassib still show. So that's technically 90 because they're not off the roster yet. But that's kind of what I got so far. Let's dive into it. We'll do the defense first. So I've got nose tackle Jonathan Hankins, and then Neil Farrell Jr. Would be his backup, and then so that would be Andrew Billings and Kyle Petco would be out. Cool thing here is Neil Farrell obviously is under contract, so get a year under his belt and then step into the starting role. And then D tackle would be set Bly Nichols and Matthew Butler, both under contract for next year. Nichols starting, Butler backing him up. That leaves out Vernon Butler and Kendall Vickers. And then defensive end, Max Crosby and Myron Viola backing him up, and that would leave Cleveland out. But both those guys are under contract, so we'd have five of the six positions on the D line under contract for next year. Would be totally solid with that. And then our outside linebacker, Chandler Jones, Malcolm Kuntz, and Zach Van Valkenburg. All three of those guys would be under contract for next year, and that leaves out Deshaun Bauer off the roster. And then our Sam spot, Kyler Fackrell. And then, of course, we don't have a backup, at least I see right now, although Zach Van Valkenburg could possibly do that. So I just don't know if I don't think he has any coverage skills. So yeah, something to maybe look at in the draft, along with a nose tackle as well. And then at linebacker, Jan Brown starting and Denzel Perryman starting the two backer spots, and then Divine Diablo and Mika Kaiser backing them up. But the only one there is Divine Diablo under contract. And then I couldn't fit in Darian Butler. I wanted to, so maybe we could do some other adjustments. And then that leaves out Butler, Justin March, Luke Masterson. That would leave those guys out. And then at cornerback, you have Rock and Anthony Averett starting. And then on the outside, and then Sam Webb backing them up. That would leave out Mullen. And then in the slot, you obviously have Nate, and then Darius Phillips backing him up. So that would leave out Amik and Crevon LeBlanc. So that would be kind of that. And so the cornerback room, we only have Sam Webb and Nate under contract. So we definitely need to address that. I think this year, I think we carry six somehow, but definitely needs to be addressed for sure next year. And then strong safety, we've had Duron Harmon and Palomalo, I think is it, out of USC, backing him up. And then Bryce Cosby is sort of that Swiss Army that both strong safety, free safety type. And then starting a free safety, Trayvon Mooring, and backing him up, Tyree Gillespie. So that leaves out Core Contrario, Jonathan Abram, Roger Teamer, and Dylan Levette. So that would be our 25-man roster. I still think that starting roster right there is awesome. And I'd have no problem with those backups, to be honest with you, get some of these other guys out. I would have no problem with that. Defense, I think we are light in, for the future at linebacker this year, we're fine, I think, at linebacker right now. But definitely cornerback, I think we need to add a little bit there. So kind of one of the reasons why I kind of like with the youth movement, I know I get crushed by this, but Divine Diablo, the strong safety, it's the same position as that weak side linebacker. And 4-3, basically you're in coverage a lot, and sort of an overhang position, and then that would get Darian Butler onto the roster, but giving up Deron Harmon. So I don't think we're in a position to give up on Deron Harmon yet, just because he's sort of the glue of that group. It's such a young group; he has to be there. So anyways, but all the other groups have veteran leadership and youth as well. So I really like it. I don't mind doing that. But it would really set us up nicely for the future. We'd have so many guys under contract; it'd be a lot easier to do free agency in the draft next year, and we'd have solid players stepping into starting roles or whatnot and being quality backups. So, and if we look at the offense, obviously Carr and then Chase Gabbers would be the backup. It's not going to happen, but I'm just throwing it out there. So Nick Mullins and Garrett Gilbert would be out. And then receiver, you have Adams starting with DeMarcus Robinson. And then backing them up, Matt Collins and Trey Turner. And then Renfro in the slot. And then Justin Hall, I carried 6 as backing him up. And I want Justin Hall on the team just for his return ability. Plus, underrated, people aren't talking about it. He had 122 rushing attempts in his career, so he's multifaceted in that way. So that would leave out Edwards, DJ Turner, Tyron Johnson, and Dylan Stoner would be left off the team. And then tight end starting Waller, backing him up Morrow, and then Cole Fotheringham as a true blocking tight end. So that would leave Jake Hollister, Nick Bauer out. And then left tackle Miller, and then right tackle would be Denzel Good. And then the backup tackles would be Bam and Thayer. That would be pretty cool to see those guys step in. And right guard, you have Leatherwood, and backing him up, Jordan Meredith. And of course, that would leave out Brandon Parker and Justin Barton. And then center, Dylan Parham starting, Andre James backing him up, and that would leave out Horonis and Grazo, or Brett Hague. Horonis, Grazo, and Brett Hagee would be left out there. So guards, Lester Cotton would be left out. John Simpson would be left out. Alex Barr's left out because they'd have at left guard Jermaine Illuminor starting. So that would leave those other guys out. So that's not a bad line. Miller, Denzel Good, Leatherwood, Miller and Good at the tackles, Leatherwood and Illuminor at the guards, and Dylan Parham at center. And then we'd have quality backups. You know, we'd have Thayer Mumford, Bam, Jordan Meredith, keep a 9 on the line, and then Andre James. That would be solid, actually. Not bad. And then running back, Zeus would probably be the starter, and then backing him up, Bolden, Britton Brown, and Sincere McCormick. And the good news is all of those guys are under contract. And then Jacob Johnson at fullback, who would have to, and then so that would leave Sutton Smith off the roster. So right now there's 40 defenders on the roster, 45 offensive, and then we have our special teamers as well. So it's 88 players. Good news about that offense, Carr, Adams, Trey Turner, Renfro, Justin Hall, Waller, Cole Fotheringham, Miller, Bam, Thayer, Leatherwood, Parham, James, Bolden, White, Britton Brown, and Sincere McCormick are all under contract for next year. So I have no problem with that offense either, to be honest with you. And the backups would be solid. So, hey, let me know what you guys think if the Raiders did something like that. I think there's still a couple holes there, but I'm all for getting rid of some of those other guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts if we sort of set it up so we're obviously that's a competitive team for the Super Bowl. I think maybe a couple holes, maybe we need a little stronger in a couple positions, but for the most part, it's pretty damn solid right now. And there's good quality depth and backup depth and all that good stuff. And we'll get rid of some of the other players that maybe aren't as productive, or maybe if we know aren't going to be, most likely wouldn't be back next year anyway. So might as well get some of these other guys if they're at all close. I say we do this sort of movement, but I know this isn't going to happen. I just thought I'd have a little fun doing it, and it looks pretty good. Kind of highlights the way that the Raiders drafted the UDFA guys they signed. Are pretty damn solid. So, anyways. That's all I got. Hope you like the video. Please join, share, subscribe, and definitely comment. Have a great day.